Hey everybody, I'm here with the intro, so let's begin. My name is Katie, and last week my coworker Tasha invited me to a little get. She said it was gone. Nah, be a fun night with good food and drinks. And she encouraged me to come up with a fun theme.
Now, normally I wouldn't put much thought into something like this.
But Tasha had been acting kind of weird lately, so I wanted to get it right. I thought about it for a few days. And finally, I hit on what I thought was a brilliant idea. Now, Tasha and I work at a pizza place. We aren't allowed to wear our uniforms to work, so we all have these really ugly aprons that we have to wear instead. Mine happens to be covered in pepperoni stickers and grease stains. So I bought some felt and I made a giant pizza slice costume. I cut out 2 identical slices, one to wear in front and one as a cape. Then I glued pepperoni stickers all over them. I was so excited! I knew it was perfect! A few hours later, I got an Uber. The driver glanced back at me in the rearview mirror, and when he saw my costume, he just shook his head and carried on in silence. I got to the address Tasha sent me, pressed the doorbell, and waited. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong! I was about to make my big cheesy entrance when the door opened and Tasha stood there in front of me in a nice black dress. Behind her, I could see a room full of people also dressed in their finest clothes, sipping wine. One guy even had a scarf on. I froze. What was this place? Why did everyone look so fancy? And before I could say anything, the girl behind me rudely barged past, nearly knocking me over. She was clearly wasted. I thought maybe I should have asked more questions. But I was too scared to turn back and face the music. I tried to step over her and into the room, but I got my crust stuck in the doorframe. A man standing nearby awkwardly pushed the rest of my costume through the door to help me. In the background, I could have sworn I saw a woman in a Victorian nightgown jump and mouth, "What the hell?" Finally free, I looked around to try to find Tasha, but she was nowhere to be seen. I sat down on the floor since there wasn't a chair that could fit me. People stared at me and whispered amongst themselves. I forced a smile and tried to blend in, but they were talking about poetry. Apparently, it was some sort of poetry reading. To make matters worse, there was a table laden with cheese next to me, and I was sweating. I was afraid I was going to knock it over or something. The whole time, I was worried about what Tasha would say when she found me. Would she laugh in my face? Would she throw me out? My mind raced with possibilities.
Then one of the women approached me and asked if I knew any poems by heart. I panicked.
I didn't want to read a poem. I didn't even know any poems. I started to say no, but then it hit me. I had written a poem about sauce and solitude for English class once. Sure, it was depressing, but it was a poem nonetheless. With newfound confidence, I stood up and in a booming voice began to recite my masterpiece. The audience stared at me in silence until I finished. Then they all jumped up and started clapping and snapping their fingers. They gave me a standing ovation. I wasn't sure if they were mocking me or not. I mean, I had made quite the entrance. When Tasha finally found me, she said, "I thought you were supposed to be here an hour ago." She explained that she had told the group it was going to be a costume party, but I was the only one who showed up. The others had just gone along with it. She apologized and said she would never do it again. So, yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. Moral of the story, always clarify the theme and never trust someone who says, "Just bring energy." That's a trap. Oh, hey, sorry. You want to hear a joke? Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!